Basketball with Coach Mark Campbell. I'm your host, Bingo Mary, brought to you by Richard's Rainwater. Coach, thanks for being here. The madness has started, and everything taking on that. Can you just tell us how has your feelings been so far as just with all the madness going on?
Well, first of all, just how cool was last night?
Right.
The turnout was incredible. Fort Worth showed out. But it's one of those things. We haven't had March Madness here since 2010, and we've never been able to host. So just the pure excitement and energy that was in the arena last night was incredible.
Yeah, the top 16, talk about hosting top 16 teams. Your team, the women, have been in there consistently. So with that, setting goals and just reaching your goals, how do you move forward getting ready for the tournament? Because you're checking everything off the list. How do you go about that?
Well, how neat, you every team sets out with goals in June, in the summertime when all the players arrive, for it all to come to fruition. Yesterday was really, the 10 months of hard work to earn this opportunity. And so now that the bracket's out, we divided the scouts, so, in our pod, and I take it one pod at a time. So there's 4 teams here. Obviously we open with FDU. So one of our coaches has that scout, and then you got Louisville and Nebraska next. And so there's a coach as each one of those scouts, and you got to dive into that because March Madness, you just never know how the bracket will shake out. You don't want to look too far ahead. Pour yourself into the game at hand, and then turn the page as you survive and advance through the bracket.
Yeah, and with the madness, having the scouts, it's a lot on your plate. So at this point in time, do you even think about downtime, or do you just really just dive into it and you don't even worry about your downtime? You'll worry about it when the season is over.
Yeah, we started calling it Team No Sleep during the Big 12 tournament, and since the regular season ended, that game in Waco to win a league title, it's really been a blur. From that moment, then you go to Kansas City, you play 3 games in 3 days, you win that title. In between that week and now, you had recruiting. You had state tournaments all over the country, portal stuff's going on, and now you turn your attention back to scouting and getting prepared for the next game. So right now we're officially Team No Sleep.
All right, Coach. So you talk about downtime and everything. How do you keep your sanity through all this? What do you do? How do you take your mind away from basketball, if that's even possible?
That's a really good question. My secret that works for me, I love coffee, and we got a neat little local spot, Common Grounds, which is tucked, right off campus by the bookstore. But usually me and Chavi will go get an afternoon coffee to just get you out of the workspace, and allows us to go have some quiet time to just talk through all the different things that are going on, and usually take just a 30, 45-minute window to kind of decompress. So that's my way of recharging, my way of having some quiet time, because the truth is right now, Team No Sleep's almost 24 hours a day, but we love it. We love it. In March, this is why you do what you do, is to have an opportunity to make a run in March Madness.
Right. Well, that's good. It looks like we have something in common, because I like coffee myself.
So maybe Bingo, you need to join.
Man, invite me next time.
I like it.
But you're going to be busy lately, so
okay.
Probably wait till after the season.
Fair. But we'll do it.
Yeah, it's good. So, and you talk about recruiting. A lot of this, with the team having so much success, the recruiting kind of built itself a little bit. I know you still have to get out there, but teams are seeing, prospects are seeing the team doing so well. They'll want to be a part of that as well. So does that make the recruiting a bit easier to sell?
And I wouldn't say easier, different.
Okay.
Different. This first crop of kids had to take a leap of faith because there wasn't a product that had been established. And now our culture is established, our product, our style of play. And we've established ourselves as one of the premier programs in the country. And so you still, though, you got to vet and find the right pieces and the right people. More importantly, and then the basketball piece, that it has to fit our system and style of play. And so it's been awesome, the interest in the program. But you still, at the end of the day, this thing, you got to get your culture right. is step one, and then you got to get the basketball piece right. And so I think our staff's done a tremendous job these 2 years. And this thing's been built with portal players. We've signed 12 portal players, 6 our first year, 6 this year. And you've gone from 1-17 to a 2 seed and in a legitimate top 10 team in the country. And so it's worked really well for us. But at the same time, how do you build for long-term success is my vision. And the first couple of years are just survival mode. You just got to get the program out of the hole, and you got to get the thing up and running. And we did that pretty quickly.
Yeah, in 2 years, and it's almost unheard of.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you see this, and I know you credit a lot, to God and just the faith that you have and you share, and I admire that about you. Just as far as the 2 years, can you just talk a little bit about, kind of the ins and outs as far as, last year you had to have a few injuries and had to have the tryouts to try to bring some girls in. But now you're a number 2 seed in your career, and the girls are going up even more.
Yeah.
Can you just explain that process and
Yeah.
the progress that you made?
I think you nailed it. And obviously we're doing this here, in our war room, where our staff does all our meetings, or right behind us. A 2 seed doesn't happen if this story doesn't happen. And we got the word grit up here. And that's a picture of our very first game after the injuries happened. But last year's journey, it was the biggest turnaround in the country a year ago. And so there was a group of them that were resilient and found a way to win games even after the injuries. And that laid a foundation to build upon. And so we still have that DNA, that grittiness, that toughness. Our talent level overall as a program, though, took a huge jump. But the fabric of how we operate is still there. And so last year and everything that came with it in our first season, this year doesn't happen without that. And so as you continue to build your program and add talent, you never want to lose that grittiness, that toughness, the resiliency that this program was founded on. And so it's all part of it. It is. It truly is. And that's life, right? A lot of people, when adversity hits, it's easy to fold up shop, or it's easy to make excuses. In this team and this program didn't do that. And now we're truly reaping the rewards right now of that journey that we went through.
Yeah. Then you talk about the grit and the grind, and one of your experienced players that we will talk to when we come back, Agnes Emma-Nnopu, she won a national championship already as well, and now competing for another one this year. So when we come back, we will be speaking with her as State of the Frogs continue with Coach Mark Campbell. I'm your host, B.J.
Energy does everything for us. It's all-encompassing.
We're all benefiting and affected from it.
And it is something that we all need to know about.
It is the glue that holds everything together.
TCU is powering what matters, our future.
We don't just talk about what's needed, we focus on results.
The Ralph Lowe Energy Institute is creating a world where energy is affordable, sustainable, and reliable.
We're back here, State of the Frogs with Mark Campbell. I'm Jay Fitzgerald. Appreciate Bingo for sending over here. We got Agnes Emma-Nnopu here. First of all, congratulations on how it's been going so far for you guys and March Madness and all that stuff. But, just kind of how you soaking all this in?
Yeah, I think it's been awesome. I feel like Sunday was really the time where I was able to kind of just sit back and be like, all the work we put in preseason, during season, it's really come to fruition. Yeah.
And Mark said it several times that you're the backbone of this team. When a coach like Mark says that, or teammates and things like that, because they've said that in press conferences, how does that make you feel, and the contributions and impact that you've made on this program? How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I think it makes me feel really awesome and really special. And I think it just speaks volumes to our team. We have so many talented players, but for them to be able to recognize me as that, even if things aren't showing up in the stat sheet, it just kind of shows that they really value who I am and what I bring to the team.
Well, speaking of what you bring to the team, we've talked about it, how you guys have won, and you can see the trophies here. The regular season title and the conference tournament title. Well, you've already done that twice at Stanford your freshman year. You won 2 of those back to back, and then you won 3 league titles, I believe it was, regular season. So just how hard, you've done it 3 times so far, but how hard is this?
Yeah, I would say very hard. I think for us, like it was a kind of just a testament to how much prep we put into preparing for the different teams in the Big 12. I think at Stanford there was some of the losses that we had in the conference were back to back, whereas I think here at TCU we were able to sort of learn from all the mistakes that we did and be able to finish the season as strong as we had started.
Well, talking about finishing the season here, I mean, you're attempting to do that. You're getting through the first and second rounds, and you've got higher aspirations than that. Obviously, well, you've won a national title as well. So, what was that? Obviously that experience goes a long way for you and this team, and the experience that other players have had, getting there. But you have won it. You've raised that trophy. What was that feeling like? Your freshman year, too.
The freshman year was definitely a very tough one. And I think just being able to, because obviously it was COVID, we were on the road for 9 weeks. I think for that group to stick together and be able to put together the season that we did, it was a memory that I will never forget. Yeah.
So when you look at, how you did that, how your team did that, I know every team is different. Every year is different. Your Stanford teams were all different. The first year here at TCU was obviously a little bit different than this year. But when you see what it takes to win a national title, really what does it take? And it seems like, you guys are playing your best basketball right now.
Yeah, I would definitely say obviously the basketball piece is a huge, and Mark says a lot, the toughest team will win in March. And I think that we have a very tough team. We have a bunch of competitors. But outside of that, I think that obviously with the Stanford team that we won with, we were just really close on and off the court. And I think that showed in the way that we wanted to compete and we wanted to win. And I think that's really what really pushed us over the edge to win that national championship. And I think that that's what we got at TCU. Obviously, we love competing with each other on the court, but we love being around each other. And I think that's really going to take us a long way.
Well, I mean, obviously that's important to have that cohesion and that chemistry in the team. But, you guys have been playing well all year. But it seems like after that K-State game when you were on the road and you kind of lost that one, you guys have been getting better and better and better every game and playing like I mentioned earlier, playing your best basketball right now. What is it about how you guys are improving every single game?
Yeah, I think obviously losses suck, but that K-State lesson, the Oklahoma State lesson, South Carolina, those are all things that we have been able to use to move forward. I think as a group, everybody sort of just really gotten comfortable with their role. We know who our playmakers are. We know who our defenders, who we're looking for, off certain things, our shooters. And I think just knowing each other's games and everybody's really sort of sat and got comfortable with their position within the team, and how that really helps us be a great collective.
When you talk about being comfortable, it seems like you guys are comfortable beating Baylor for the 2 trophies you had here. Kind of take us through, it's hard enough preparing 3 times.
Yes.
I think they won a 4 shot at you too. I believe she talked about that, but I think if you can't get it done in 3 games, you don't get a 4th shot.
Exactly.
Really.
Yeah.
But what was it really like in the locker room, and for you being okay, we got to prepare for this team a 3rd time?
Yeah, obviously Baylor's an incredible program, and I think last season, obviously our game against them at their place, that was sort of the beginning of all the injuries, all that kind of stuff. So I think for me personally, and I want to say probably for a couple of the girls who were here last year, that was always in the back of our mind. I think that obviously they're what we consider our rivals, but I think this year a rivalry was really born, and we're not the underdogs anymore, they are. And I think being able to go out there and just prove okay, everyone always talks about how hard it is to beat a team, the same team twice in the same season, but we were able to do it 3 times. So I think that's just, a testament to how good of basketball we're playing right now.
Well, like I said, the 4th time it'd be great, but they're on the other side of the bracket and all that stuff. But if we're talking about experience here, even before you went to Stanford, the international scene for Australia and, bronze U17 FIBA World Cup. And then, you got the chance to play the U19 FIBA team or FIBA World Cup against Haley, and you've got the silver there. But what is it like playing for your country?
Yeah, it's definitely something I consider a really high honor. I've always enjoyed it. I feel like being able to put on the green and gold is something that I want to do again in the future. And obviously, we get to play against some of the best in the world, like that team with Haley. I think they had Caitlin Clark, the likes of Paige, Cameron Brink. So it was a lot of great players. And for us to be able to go out there, compete, and almost, win the gold, we didn't end up with it. I think that just speaks volumes to like how much of an honor it is for all the girls who get to put on their country's uniform.
Well, I mean, it must have been great and all that stuff, and bringing that experience to Stanford in those years, and obviously here to TCU, and being in college, it seems like with the COVID years and the other years being here for you're a graduate student.
Yes.
You, first of all, getting into Stanford itself, you got to be pretty smart, and you got a bachelor's degree in biology, neuroscience, I believe.
Yeah, human biology concentrated in neuroscience and human performance.
And now you're going for your master's here at TCU in kinesiology, graduating in May. Like, why those fields?
I grew up with parents who were doctors and nurses, and my mom was also a pharmacist. And I think for me, I've always just loved like the science part. I've always wanted to help people, pursue medicine. So I think they were big role models for me, and that's definitely why I've sort of taken that pathway.
So I know your pathway is basketball now, but school is, everyone's
Definitely
doing both there. But life after basketball, is that the field you want to go into? Obviously, you're spending all that time in school. You want to make use of that degree.
Yes,
those degrees.
100%. Yeah, medicine is definitely the field I want to go to, and I've kind of considered a couple of different pathways within it. I've spoken about becoming a neurosurgeon. I've spoken about maybe becoming like a anesthetist. I'm really not sure, so we'll see what the future holds.
Well, that's good. Well, I know all your mind is on first round,
yes,
Fairleigh Dickinson, on Friday. But we really appreciate you being on the show today. I know Mark does as well in bingo.
Thank you so much.
And we wish you good luck on Friday. Awesome. And we're going to send it back to bingo and Coach Campbell after a word from our sponsor, Richard's Rainwater. Go Frogs.
What do you see when you look up at the clouds? At Richard's Rainwater, we see the greatest source of pure, delicious water looking right back down at us. We've invented a simple, powerful technology to collect and bottle rainwater. Our process begins with the rain. When clouds become saturated, droplets fall from the sky. Rainfall is a naturally cleansing event. During the first few minutes, the raindrops clean the atmosphere and wash away any dirt or debris from surface areas. At this cleanest point in the rain cycle, we collect the pure raindrops into large storage vessels. Then, we use a simple, yet effective combination of ozone and microfiltration to ensure our rainwater surpasses the highest drinking water standards. We pour the pure, refreshing rainwater into glass bottles and aluminum cans, packaging as infinitely renewable as the water itself. Richard's Rainwater is building a network of collection systems across the country to ensure our rainwater is local everywhere. The purest, best-tasting water comes from the sky. Richard's Rainwater, sip the sky.
Show. Now we're back here with Coach Mark Campbell, and we just like to talk about, before we talk about, the matchup for FDU, can we just talk about Agnes for a little bit as far as just a, grad student now, veteran player, won the national championship already, and just coming into a great season. How has she just helped your team just progress so far?
Yeah, Agnes is just incredibly mature.
Yeah.
Agnes is one of those kids, you know what you're going to get from her every single day. She shows up. She's like a pro with her maturity, her work ethic, her grind, her competitive spirit. So every day in practice, every game, you know exactly what you're going to get from Agnes. And like you mentioned, she's won a national title. She's played in Final Fours. She's won multiple league titles when she was at Stanford. So she understands what it takes. But it's just her consistency. And she has played such a huge role for us. And I've called her the backbone of our program, over the last 2 years. And so we're going to need her leadership during this March Madness run.
Yeah. I like to call her mission utility because
Yep.
it's like she can do a little bit of everything. Rebound the basketball, shoot the three, take it to the basket, assist, take charges. It's just like that thing there, like she does. Like you said, just consistency, and that's what impresses me and stands out the most to me.
Well, I'll tell you a play. How about in the conference tournament championship game? It was really close, and she attacked a closeout off the dribble, did a wraparound pass to Sedona for an and-one. While she also got some key offensive rebounds in that game, but she just somehow always makes timely plays that matter, that impact winning. Always.
Yeah, and so we talk about impact winning coming up on Friday, 2:30. FDU is coming in to play. They're on a nice little record winning for themselves, 22-game winning streak, 19-0 in the conference. It's a dangerous team. How do you prepare? I mean, we ask this all the time. I know you may be tired of hearing this, but with a team like this, you can't sleep on a team like this when you're doing it. So what is the prepare for you? How do you do that as far as going into the game on Friday?
Bingo, you nailed it. Your preparation is no different than when we prepared for Baylor with the league title on the line. This FDU game is our Super Bowl, and you have to go all in with our preparation, and that's the key in March Madness. You cannot look ahead. In human nature, you got this whole bracket, and fans love playing the what-if game and this or that and who's next, and you can't. You got to block out all the noise in March, and you got to lock in as a team and a program, and so FDU is going to get our full attention. If we're able to get that game done, then you turn the page to the next one, and so today's off. So our routine this week, today's off, and then we'll go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we get 3 days of prep, and then we tip off. It's an early game, 2:30 on Friday. But we're going to get 3 good days of prep and film session, and we'll dive into it starting tomorrow.
So when you talk about preparation, there's a lot of that now, because it's like riding a bicycle almost. So do you just kind of just work out the kinks and just kind of keep your women like just ready? You don't go too hard, or do you have like a hard practice as far as like getting after it right before the game?
Yeah, great question. Okay, so last week when our league tournament ended, we gave a Monday, Tuesday off, and then we came back and did a shooting workout on Wednesday, so light, got them sweating again, and then Thursday we had a full practice, and then Friday off, and then Saturday, Sunday, this past weekend, we went normal practice mode. And then today's off, and then now you get your normal, typical game week preparation. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and day before game, we never go live. We shoot and cover the scout.
Yeah. So, before I get you out of here, Coach, I have to ask you. I know I done finished mine. Have you finished your bracket yet?
Oh, no. I haven't. I'm so locked in on FDU. I don't even know, outside of our pod, I probably couldn't even tell you who else is playing who or where. You whether it's good or bad, I got a pretty laser focus of the job at hand and block everything else out. So, no, right now I got us advancing past FDU. That's all I got.
I got us going all the way. Say it for you, like that, we're manifesting that, and we want to wish you and good luck in this tournament coming up. And when you get your tickets at GoFrogs.com, we'd like to thank Agnes for stopping by. We'd like to thank you, Coach, for stopping by as well. This has been another edition of State of the Frogs with Coach Mark Campbell, presented to you by Richard's Rainwater. I've been your host, Bingo Merrick, and we will see you Friday. Go Frogs.